Hi, I'm Mark Straightney, and I'm here today with Joe Madden, founder of Mobile Experts. Mobile Experts is used by over 200 companies around the world because of the excellence in their research on the mobile industry. And today we're here to talk about a first of its kind test, and Joe came to look at, and what we were testing was the strength of millimeter wave in a mobile moving car. So Joe, why was it important to the industry? And then we'll get into what you saw today.
Well, I mean, it's important to the industry to start offloading some data to the millimeter wave network. We're running out of capacity below 6 gigahertz, and so it's extremely important to get a substantial portion of our outdoor traffic onto the millimeter wave bands. I love the test today here in Cupertino because we were able to test in a moving car going down De Anza Boulevard with a series of G-Node Bs. I think that's a very realistic scenario for how people would really use this network.
So we're here in Cupertino today, and we did the test across 6 G-Node Bs over about 5 kilometers, I guess, round trip. It was a Verizon ultra wideband network. So what did you see?
Well, it was a great test, and it's a use case I hadn't thought much about, Mark. We put a repeater in a moving car in order to improve the experience for a smartphone user inside the car. For me, it was a noticeable difference. This is one of the problems that we have with millimeter wave usage. We want to offload this outdoor data, but most of the time, at least in the United States, when people are outdoors and doing something and going somewhere and using data, they're often inside a moving vehicle, a train, a bus, a car. And so we have these issues of penetration of the glass and the steel of the car itself to deal with. So in our first test, we had the repeater shut off. We're essentially just doing speed tests on smartphones as we drove down De Anza Boulevard. And what I found was that, the performance coming through the window of the car was a little spotty, and even where we hold the phone inside the car, down in my lap or up here above the level of the window, made a big difference in the kind of performance that we saw. And so that was okay. I mean, that was to be expected. But when we turned the repeaters on, we found that we had a very consistent experience. As we drove down 30 miles an hour going down the road, we were handing off from one G-Node B to the next. That handoff was seamless. We did a video call where we essentially saw no interruptions in the video, and we saw consistent 2 gigabit sort of performance in the downlink. So, from my point of view, that was a very successful and very noticeable difference. Essentially, we got the kind of performance that you get in a smartphone standing outdoors stationary. We were able to duplicate that kind of performance in a moving car inside the cage of the car.
Well, can you envision that this would be built into autonomous vehicles or all vehicles and buses and trains? How would you see this being used?
Well, I could see it first in trains. I mean, that's an obvious case to me is you have a ton of people sitting on the train and most of them want entertainment while they're sitting there. And, so that to me is the prime case that should happen tomorrow. Buses, cars, any other kind of vehicle should come next. And absolutely, I think it's something that would naturally fold into the kinds of antennas they have in the car today. They could install that either within the windshield glass or in the shark fin antenna or something like that, and could simplify the prototype that we tested today down to a very small size. And I think it'd be a very reasonable entertainment module to put into the car.
Yeah, absolutely, and for business purposes as well, like you said with the video conferencing. I mean, I wish I got video conferencing that good in my home on my Wi-Fi, to be honest.
Yeah, that's true.
But in any case, we think it was a landmark test today, and you can get more information on. You can see the URL on the screen, and I want to thank you for your time today and your interest.
Yeah, thank you, Mark.